Like I was saying, our topic this week and for the next 2 weeks would be working with affirmations. And the main content, you might say, which we'll be covering will be based on these two books. One is Paramahansa Yogananda ji's Scientific Healing Affirmation, and the other one is a book which Swami Kriyananda ji wrote, which is called Affirmations for Self-Healing. In fact, 2 years ago, in the year 2020, we did the whole year. Our Saturday webinars were based on this book, Affirmations for Self-Healing. And there are 52 affirmations in this book. So one affirmation for each week. And we had we really felt good in doing that together. And it was a very joyful experience sharing that. In fact, even as of now, till date, we continue to use this book, Affirmations for Self-Healing, every morning at our monastery. We do the reading and then we do the affirmations for the relevant week. And we find it extremely beneficial to start our day with that particular affirmation and trying to tune into it. And it's not necessary that you have to pick it weekly. You can pick an affirmation which is needed for you at this point of time, at this hour. And Swamiji has written so many affirmations on the topic of willingness, service, income, kindness, truthfulness. I mean, say, name it and the quality is there, basically. So if you feel like, okay, fine, I need to work on devotion, there's an affirmation on devotion. I need to work on joy, there's an affirmation on joy. I need to learn discrimination, there's an affirmation on discrimination. So like I was saying, name it and it will be there in this book and you can work with those affirmations. In today's class, I was thinking that we could touch a little bit on the basics of affirmations. Of course, many of you have studied the Raj Yoga teachings and gone through that, and Swami Kriyananda ji writes a lot in depth about affirmations over there also. But still, it's nice to touch base on the basics, and then I'll probably touch on one or two points which we can use in the coming week to go deeper into the practice of affirmations. So now, what are affirmations and how do we use affirmations? Well, Yogananda ji said that words have power, and when we use those words for our benefit, like using an affirmation, we can have, or we can make an influence using those words in our day-to-day life. They are not simple things. Words have power. They are like vibrational bombs, you might say. And so it's very important for us to be very conscious and also careful when we use our words. And being on this path, many of you must have heard the various chants. In fact, even before this class began, we were hearing a chant in Swami Kriyananda's voice. So we can take those words not only as affirmations, but those affirmations can also be put to music. And like this chant which we had, when I awake, I'll see thy face. When I awake, I'll see thy light. Or there's a chant which I really like, which is, I own nothing, I am free. In myself, I am free. So all those divine qualities which we want in our lives, we use affirmations for that. Let's say, we are dealing with something called anger, which people often deal with, or fearfulness. We find an opposite quality, an opposite positive quality, and affirm that quality. Instead of saying that I am not angry or I am not fearful, we try to say, well, I am courage. I have that courage in my life, or I am loving. I am kind. We are not trying to suppress a negative thing, but rather we are trying to affirm a positive thing when we are doing affirmations. And that's something extremely, extremely important, because we don't want to focus our minds on the negative aspects of life. And then secondly, now how do we use affirmations? When do we use affirmations? I'll just go through them very quickly, and I hope in the coming weeks we can go more in depth with them. A good time to affirm, Yogananda ji said, was immediately on rising or just before going to bed, because those are the times when the subconscious mind is really open. You might often find that the thought which you wake up with is often the accompanying thought, or is the underlying thought or the underlying mood throughout the day. So why not start the day with an affirmation or end the day with an affirmation? Another good time is when we go to, when we meditate. At the end of meditation, I said when we go to sleep, and then I slowly switched to meditation, though those two things are very different. Just clarifying, sleep and meditation is not the same, although sometimes sleep does disrupt our meditation, but still. Anyways, so immediately after meditation is also a very good time to use affirmations. And how do we use affirmations? We can make our own affirmations. We can use the affirmations in the book, which I mentioned about. But again, when we use affirmations, we are trying to affirm a positive quality. Instead of saying, I am not this or I am not that, we are saying, I am this. That's very important on our affirmations. Another thing which Yogananda ji said about the technique of affirming is first affirm out loud. Like we really say it out loud, because the mind is often wandering here and there. We're thinking about this thought and that thought. And by affirming out loud, we're really saying that, no, I am consciously and with my full intention saying out these words, affirming this reality. Then after that, we bring it to a normal voice, to our conscious mind. Then we go softer, whispering, and then we do it mentally, taking it to the subconscious mind. And then at the end, gazing at the point between the eyebrows, eyes gently lifted, uplifted, we say it out loud. Now, this is the technique, and maybe we'll do it together. Premdas will guide us into a guided practice, a group practice of an affirmation. But there is no end to affirming a particular affirmation. We will probably today, for the sake of time, do each one once or twice or whatever it is. But if it's a small affirmation, like something like, let me just pick a very little affirmation. This is on income, Swamiji writes, and he says, the treasury of the infinite is mine, for its wealth is energy, and I am energy. You can do this out loud 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Then you can do in a normal voice 5 times. You can do whispering. Just go keep repeating it over and over until the words become your reality. Until it becomes that I'm not just saying out these words, but I'm feeling these words. They are the essence of my being. That I'm not just talking about kindness, I'm not just affirming kindness, but I am that kindness. I am those words. That is the way we want to use these affirmations. Interestingly, just yesterday, I got an email, and I like tuning into what people do out in the world. So we see so many Facebook ads these days, ads about even spiritual topics like, balance your chakras, attain this consciousness in these many days, or let this happen, or what, like people make such high promises sometimes, that I just get very curious what their courses are all about. So recently, or actually a couple of years ago, maybe I enrolled for a similar course which says 5 days boot camp, and change your life in 5 days. You'll be able to accomplish 1 2 3 4 5, all these promises. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but I'm always trying to tune in. Where are they coming from? What is it? What are they? What are the tools and techniques they use? So similarly, I got an email from this individual who said that the people testimonials, the people who had used his course, they were able to manifest a car within half the time they had hoped to. They were able to get rid of the debts in this much time. And I'm not criticizing this, it's very good. And material goals, we have a physical body. So yes, we have to, fulfill our material needs. But somehow deeply inside, I felt something was off. Something wasn't quite, how I would feel with our teachings. And I like meditating before sharing in a class, and I was trying to tune in what was I feeling that was off. And I felt what was really off in this was there was a lack of involvement with divine will. And that is extremely important when we, as devotees, as spiritual seekers, and as spiritual aspirants on the spiritual path, what is the divine will, that becomes even more important for us than what do I want, whether I want a car or a house, or to get rid of my debts, or do I need a crore rupees. Well, it might be very well true, and it might be the need of the hour, but to attune ourselves with the divine will. And that is what we are trying to do with these affirmations. We are trying to attune our self will with the will of God. And then when this thought came to my mind, I started picking up the affirmations which Yogananda ji wrote and Swami Kriyananda ji wrote. And it was so interesting that in every affirmation, they are reflecting these words back to the divine and bringing that power into it. They're not saying, I am this, or I am this car, or I want this car, or give me this car, or I am a billionaire, or I am a millionaire, or they're not saying that. They are trying, and even like something as I won't say mundane, but on a material level, like I read the affirmation on income, one in a worldly level, you might affirm that, oh, you know, I want this income, or I am this income, or I have all the income that I need. But look over here how beautifully Swamiji writes, the treasury of the infinite is mine, for its wealth is energy, and I am energy. Just here we are talking about income, and over here you read these words and you feel your consciousness expands. Instead of focusing on one little problem of our life, suddenly we are focusing on the infinite. And that is how we want to use affirmations. So yes, feel free to use your own affirmations if you want to, but always try to reflect them back to the divine. We are not trying to affirm our egos. In fact, we are trying to affirm the divine reality which is within us. And I have 1 or 2 minutes, and I'll end with this thought that in everything you do for the coming week, try to affirm that reality. We all probably know the story where Swamiji was trying to attend his Greek exam, and his teacher was saying that, some people might as well not attend the exam because they know what their outcome was going to be. And everyone would turn back and look at Swami Kriyananda ji, and they knew Swami Kriyananda ji had barely attended any class, but Swamiji was determined on passing, and he said, I am a Greek. And he was not affirming with his ego, but he was trying to, from his deep inside, he was trying to affirm that I am that. He wasn't trying to be a foreigner to the language, but affirming that I am this. So come from the inside out rather than from the outside in while working with affirmations. And even when you're meditating, don't try to think that, oh, I will find God, or I will see the light, or I will hear those vibrations, those Om vibrations, or feel those vibrations, or feel that joy. But go with the attitude that I am that joy, I am that infinite. And with that attitude, suddenly meditation becomes easier, our activities in life become easier. Today, while I was chanting a chant, I was thinking that why am I approaching it from an outside, as an outsider? But why not approach it that I am this, like I own nothing, I am free. Or I was actually chanting this chant, which I suddenly don't remember. Um, Oh yeah, it was this chant. They have heard thy name. They have heard thy name, the blind, halt, and lame. They have come to thy door, Lord. Give them an audience, Lord. It's a beautiful chant by Yogananda ji. And instead of thinking that I'm begging to the divine that give me an audience, I'm just saying, of course, Divine Mother will give me her audience. Of course, she will hear to my prayers. Of course, she will listen to everything I want, as long as I am praying to her and trying to find out what she wants. And so in using affirmations, yes, we know a lot of basics about affirmations, and the techniques are equally important. I'm not moving aside or hushing off the techniques, but try to use these techniques of taking your individual willpower, your self-will, and making it one with the divine will. And that way you will find, I think, a lot of results in working with affirmations. With that, I would like to pass on to Brahmachari Premdas.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening again, and thank you, Vinny. Okay. I think you all heard the basics now. So now is it time for some practice? So, but before then, have you been doing your last week's homework, or last week's was listening to Swamiji or one of these saints from, and or just tuning into Master? So if you haven't been doing, yeah, try continue doing it. I think it's a lifelong thing where we keep attuning our will, attuning our joy. Whenever any entertainment, relaxation is needed, now you know where you can tune into, where you can take your energy from. It's very important where we derive our energy from. I think you all remember the story of Rajarshi and Master, this cute conversation where Master asked, I'm paraphrasing, where does your strength come from? And Rajarshi Janakananda ji, whose birthday was few days back, he said, it comes from you, Master. So I think when we realize, like Vineet ji was mentioning, how our strength comes from the divine, then we can really tune into it, and we'll be able to change more and more, because we are not this small ego, and we'll be able to tune more and more. So now I was also tuning into this book, Scientific Healing Affirmations by Paramhansa Yogananda ji. And so what we'll do is, we'll really practice it. So in the meaning, I'll also ask you to close your eyes, and also I'll try to read. I found this small chapter in there called Preliminary Guidelines for Affirmations. So we'll do that. So in this first step, it says, sit facing north or east. If you're not facing north or east, don't worry for today. Or if you can just turn around, just face the north or east direction. And then afterwards, he says, close your eyes. Concentrate. Okay, let's all close our eyes. Just take few seconds to get centered. Concentrate deeply. Your attention on the medulla first. And then try to bring that energy up to spiritual eye. Keep your spine erect. Your chest high, abdomen in, relax completely. Let's take few deep breaths. Inhale completely and exhale completely. 2 more. As you exhale this time, exhale thrice. Relax the body and keep it motionless. Empty the mind of all restless thoughts. And withdraw it from all the body sensations, your weight, temperature, sound, etc. Be here now. Now fill your mind with devotion and will, feeling the devotion in the heart and the will at the point between the eyebrows. Cast away anxiety, distrust, worry. Realize calmly that the divine law works and is all powerful only when you do not shut it out by doubt or disbelief. Faith and cooperation, concentration allows you to operate it unhamperedly. Just know that with God's power, everything is curable and everything can be changed for better. Now forget what it is that you want to be healed. So today, as you keep your eyes closed, so what we are going to practice is psychological success affirmation given by Paramahansa Yogananda ji. So maybe the first time, let's repeat it loudly, and I'll read it out. Keep your eyes closed to the extent possible. Repeat it with this energy and devotion. Let's repeat it. I am brave, I am strong. Perfume of success thoughts blows in me, blows in me. I am cool, I am calm. I am sweet, I am kind. I am love, I am sympathy. I am charming and magnetic. I am pleased with all. I wipe the tears and fears of all. I have no enemy, though some think they are so. I am the friend of all. I have no habits in eating, dressing, behaving. I am free. I am free. I command thee, O attention, to come and practice concentration on things I do, on works I do. I can do everything. When so I think, when so I think. In church or temple or prayer mood, my vagrant thoughts against me stood and held my mind from reaching thee, and held my mind from reaching thee. Teach me to own again, oh, own again. My matter soul, my matter souled mind and brain, that I may give them to thee in prayer and ecstasy, in meditation and reverie. I shall worship thee in meditation and seclusion. I shall feel thy energy flowing through my hands in activity. Lest I lose thee, I shall find thee in activity. Now let's take a few more seconds, try to be in this calmness, just soaking these words in. Feeling the God's power helping you as being the children of God, we can manifest, become His true self, or try to channel His energy, His love, His joy, His success. So now what we'll do is we'll do it now. Again, try to focus at the spiritual eye. This time we'll do it mentally. Please repeat this along with me. I am brave, I am strong. Perfume of success thoughts blows in me, blows in me. I am cool, I am calm. I am sweet, I am kind. I am love, I am sympathy. I am charming and magnetic. I am pleased with all. I wipe the tears and fears of all. I have no enemy, though some think they are so. I am the friend of all. I have no habits in eating, dressing, behaving. I am free, I am free. I command thee, O attention, to come and practice concentration on things I do, on works I do. I can do everything. When so I think, when so I think. In church or temple prayer mood, my vagrant thoughts against me stood and held my mind from reaching thee, and held my mind from reaching thee. Teach me to own again, oh, own again, my matter, soul, mind, and brain, that I may give them to thee in prayer and ecstasy, in meditation and reverie. I shall worship thee in meditation and seclusion. I shall feel thy energy flowing through my hands in activity, or lest I lose thee, I shall find thee in activity. Continue in this state of stillness, absorbing these words, this energy. Now you can slowly open your eyes. We used to practice this in our monastery previously after our meditations. It really helped me, and I think many brother monks. So maybe for this week, I would suggest, this is called psychological success affirmations. If you just type this in Google, you'll find the Ananda link with the affirmation. So try to practice this once or twice as time permits and see what changes it brings across. But again, like Vineet mentioned, also offer it up to divine and invoke the divine presence. Otherwise, it becomes too much egoic, because we are again drawing the strength from him, and try to become one with that divine source. And then you'll be able to change yourself better, quicker, and more in tune. And with his grace, everything can be done.